Hi everyone, I've got a little video that I'd like to do today, and it's just going to be me, not ranting, but it's just going to be me talking. There's no footage to go with it or anything like that. It's just simply a little bit of a rant about a mindset that most people do have. Don't feel ashamed if you have that same attitude or this same attitude that I'm going to talk about, because it is prevalent. A lot of people, it's instilled into them when incidents or situations happen on the road. And it's all to do with blame or at fault. And they're two words that I rarely use. Honestly, I can't ever remember me producing or analysing a video where I've said this person's to blame or they're at fault. I always take the mindset of what any party could do better. And this often causes conflict within the comments. Now, I don't mind that. It's no problem. I'm quite happy and assured in the mindset that I use. It's the more positive way of being a road user. But most people do have this mindset of who's to blame, who's at fault. It's usually the first thing that comes out of people's mouths. And for me, that's never going to really promote learning. The police apportion blame and they find out who's at fault, and so do insurance companies. But the insurance companies will not do anything to encourage learning. That doesn't happen with insurance companies. But the police, there's a little bit with the police forces when they do attribute blame and find someone at fault if they send someone on a driver improvement course. Those driver improvement courses are designed, rather than just hit people with points on the license, they're designed to educate. But in my opinion, too many people always just think who's to blame. It's often the first thing that's said when someone puts up a video of an incident that happens on the road. Who's to blame? Who's at fault? And I'd like to change this attitude if I possibly can. It's not going to be a quick fix, and honestly I'm never going to be able to do it fully, but I'd like people to think, rather than instantly going blame or fault, try and have the sort of like mindset that I do when I'm analysing things and just working out who could do better. So rather than blame or fault, think of the word contribution and think of the word involvement. And I've nicked those two words off people over the years. I think there was one of them that came up in the comments section of one of my videos not so long ago, and I thought, tell you what, it's a perfect way of dealing with it. So when something happens on the road, even if the other person legally is to blame, there's usually a contribution that the so-called innocent party has had to the incident. Rarely will there be a situation where you'll literally have no contribution whatsoever to that incident. And that's the bit that people need to think of more. Because when it's just pointing the finger at the other person, they're to blame, they're at fault, that person doing that isn't looking at themselves. They're not looking at what they could do to have fixed that situation. And it's a common scenario that I see all the time. On my other channel, the cycling channel, if you haven't seen it, please check it out. That channel is designed to educate cyclists. But I do exactly the same on the cycling channel as I do on the driving channel. If I get a clip sent in, what I will do is I'll look at each party and just look at what could have been done better and how either party could often have altered what they do to then stop that incident happening. But whenever I do it on the cycling channel, and this isn't a rant at just the cyclists, it's most people have this mindset, but when I do this on the cycling channel, people always call me victim blaming or say that I'm victim blaming. I'm not. And I don't mind people calling me whatever they want, they can. It's water off a duck's back to me. I really don't care. As long as people aren't abusive and are not prejudiced towards anyone, you can say what you like in the comments. I really don't mind. All right, I don't block people. I don't ban people from, commenting just because they've got a different opinion to myself. So it's the same across the board. If you're a road user and something happens, there is usually a contribution or your involvement, even if it's a tiny little bit, that's made that incident happen. And they're the bits that we've all got to take upon ourselves to try and change, because if we all do that, it gets better and the roads become a safer place. And it's got to be a conscious decision from all of us individually. So let's go around this bus. Got to be careful with this one. Okay, and even that, most people would have just zoomed there and not taken that care. But that's what I'm getting at. Analyse your own driving, look at yourself. The only person that you can affect is yourself, and it's the easiest way to make things better. Well, is it the easiest way? I'm going to correct what I said there. If I was living in fairy tale land, it's the easiest way to make things better, because we are all governing ourselves, but people don't. They just want to shift blame somewhere else, point the finger at someone else and pass the problem. And that is a common problem throughout most of the things we see on a daily basis. I'm never going to go into politics on this channel, but quick little thought about the politics in most countries. All they do is just blame the other party. And for me, that ain't constructive and it ain't the way forward, but it's inbuilt into us throughout many, many things. So change your habits. If you do think about they're to blame, they're at fault, not an issue, but just try and have a little bit more of my mindset. That's all I wanted to say for today. Sorry it's not been exciting, but I think you'll probably agree. If you're a regular viewer and you're a subscriber to my channel and channels, you understand where I'm coming from. And it's the new people that come on board that often have issues with what I do. But anyway, we're all in this together. It's a lovely community. Thank you very much for your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.